Waiting for it. Waiting for it. I think that's it. I think that's it. Welcome, welcome, boys. Another set of Chick Talks. How y'all doing in the chat? Gonna do some chilling over here. Just trying to think of a theme. Dude. Actually, you know what? Let's start this one. I'm gonna start with some bad news. So if you don't know, Ottawa is having their Freedom Trucker Convoy, and a lot of the Redditors in Ottawa are like, I would rather just have horses stomp on old ladies. So unfortunately, TikTok has no more thoughterry on it. It's all this stuff, which sucks, because if you don't know, I get my girl to look at TikToks, and she sends me some of the best of the worst. Now, sometimes it's something that's good enough to make like a full video where we talk about something we can all learn together. These are the guys that didn't make it. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. So right now we're going to go through one, and I thought of a theme for you guys, and this one is that silly question that everybody always asks. What is it you bring to the table? What is it you bring to the table? Well, I'm going to show you what a tableless thing looks like. So the first one is, I love this. It's like do you ever know when you're talking to a guy and you give him some sound advice and he's like, I don't believe you. You're like, all right, I'm gonna give you permission to go learn this the hard way. Well, that's what we got right here. Enjoy. Man, it's like so much copyright stuff on TikTok that I basically have to play these things without sound. I'll give you a hint. It starts off with like, oh no, 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 no. And it ends off with something to the effect like, whatever you got, I want it. Dude, I don't know how many girls, and it's like a weird thing. Like, remember, I had a video out. Oh, what was it I was saying? Something to the effect of women are lied to their whole lives. Like, you know, guys want to sleep with them, so they tell them what they want to hear, and their girlfriends are like, yeah, cut your hair, it looks good, queen. And they'll all do this, and they'll think they have this like weird biased bubble of the world. And then it turns out there's this thing called the wall. If you haven't heard of it, it's that there's like two types of women. There's ones that look young, and there's ones that look old. And the wall is like the separation point between them. The idea is that girls have a much quicker one, and guys kind of slow and dragged out. Luckily, most guys are unattractive, so I mean, who cares about that wall, right? And you would be surprised. Like, I'm old enough to have a good set of divorces among friends and coworkers and family, doing my time in the military, whatever. And a lot of the wives are hitting this moment where they realize, wow, it's just like when I was 20. And then they get out there after like 3 weeks. They're like, this is nothing like when I was 20. It's actually much worse. So, to answer that question, what is it you bring to the table? It's like your life would be miserable without me. Welcome. Welcome to Thunderdome. Welcome to Thunderdome. Man, oh, also, hey, just so you know, like, these ones are really horrible. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it was either this or get a bunch of, like, smug Redditors in Ottawa making stupid horn honking ones, so you're gonna get what you're gonna get, guys. Anyways, let's move on. Something a little lighter this time. What do you bring to the table? Well, let's just say you don't want to be bored.
What?
Hey, the door's locked.
Say I'm sorry
For what?
for being cranky.
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry this time. No.
You ain't getting in. You ain't getting in. Dance in the parking lot. I'll turn music up.
Billy,
No, you gotta be nice.
I'm not doing this right now.
You gotta start being nice.
I'm nice. You owe me an apology.
No, you're not.
In that way.
You're not getting in then.
Let me in.
No, I'm leaving you.
I'm about to make a scene.
I'll leave.
Let me in.
I'll leave. Say you're sorry. You ain't getting in.
I'm not saying sorry.
Stay here then. Stay here. Get in. Not door's locked. Say you're sorry, Dumbo.
Guys, look at that face. Look at that face. Like, she's mad and she's pissed, and you can tell she just wants in the car and he's fucking with her. But you look in that face and you see, like, she's happy. It's like body language. You can't lie with body language because your like limbic brain handles that stuff. But your mouth is all frontal lobe, so it talks all kinds of nonsense. And she's talking about how angry she is, brows furrowed, bit of a smile on her face. Hey, look, I'm not one to tell you whether pranking your wife or not, or pranking your girlfriend or not is a good thing or a bad thing, but I will say this. At least you know you're not afraid of the girl's emotional state or terrified that she might get mad at you. Good on that guy, man. Good on him. I'll make a scene. Yeah, no, they won't make a scene. And if they do make a scene, you laughing works out well. Laugh it off, man. I honestly, I will say this. So many guys are terrified of making their wife angry or sad or mean that it's almost better to do this to kind of desensitize you to being such a snowflake. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. I'm going to show you the alternative. Now I have to mute this one. I have to mute this one because copyright tunes. For some reason, nobody can have a genuine emotion without Usher playing in the background, but I'm going to show you the exact opposite of that. Dude, there's like 500 of these. Every guy acting terrified on those text messages. Imagine that though. Your ancestors were Viking warriors. Your ancestors were the knights of whatever, samurai, you know, ancient warriors, and then you're sitting there like she sent a text and she doesn't sound happy. Imagine that. Dude, she sounds pissed. She's gonna yell at me like mom did when I was a baby, and she used to put cigarettes out on me and hide me in the closet when her boyfriend came over. Gotta sort out those daddy issues, man. Again, true to form, don't eat paint. Do not eat paint with these things. Jesus. I don't know. It's just, maybe it boggles the mind. Like, I was raised on a ranch, did some time in the military, did some corporate stuff. I grabbed a girl because she was fun, and we're still together now, but like the idea of being scared of her. I'm comfortable in saying that if I had to, like if a zombie apocalypse came and she turned into one, she started attacking me, I think I could fight her off pretty easily and not get bit. So I'm like, if you can survive a zombie apocalypse, spouse, I think you can handle mean texts. So I guess if you take nothing else from this, take like, don't worry about it, man. You got this. You got this. Oh, one sec.
More in touch.
Yeah, there we go. This is going to be some noise nonsense here. But here, what do you bring to the table? Well, I bring my feminine energy. Let's give this one a go.
My girl told me to get more in touch with my feminine side. So I cheated and only told my best friend, dodged all accountability whenever I was in the wrong, and then forced her to open up and left.
It's funny. It makes me laugh. It's a little bit crass, but like, even though I'm laughing, I can feel there's pain in there. Like, this guy's not that clever. This is like, let me just pretend to be that bitch and get some clout off of it. Like, kudos to the guy, man. You know what? She broke my heart. She stole my best friend. She killed my dog. She broke my windows. She keyed my car. But damn, this ain't a banger TikTok, you know? Man, all right. So here's you guys want, everybody's like, how do you get over a breakup? And it's always like, what's the standard thing? You got to get under 10 more girls to get over the one. And I would argue going viral on TikTok may be the new way to cope with the breakup. What with the pandemic and all, nobody can leave their house and nobody's talking to girls, and apparently all girls are crazy. And maybe you don't have the newest iPhone, which I've been told by very credible sources that if you don't have a new iPhone, you ain't getting no girl. Which, it's weird for me because I'm like, there's no love for Windows Phone men? I don't know. Oh, okay. I got a new one for you here. And it's going to be great. It's like one of them shots and chasers. I want you to see somebody complain, and then I want you to see their regular stuff. And this is going to tell you everything you need to know about dating in the I don't know, what are we in? Buck Rogers, 23rd century? What time? What year are we in? I'll figure it out. Just leave comments in the chat. What year is this now? I've lost track ever since we outlawed the calendar in Canada. All right, you ready? Let's do it.
My question is, why are these beautiful women single, bro? Why the fuck am I single, bro? Why the fuck am I single? Guys, I've been single. I'm gonna be single. Oh my god. I'm gonna be single for 4 fucking years now. In a few months, bitch. I haven't had a boyfriend, like, officially. No, dude. And I just think about it and I look at myself and I'm like, bitch, you're fucking pretty, bitch. Like, I'm not trying to sound like, you know, I'm egoistic or whatever. But, like, dude, I'm pretty. Bitch, I got an ass. Bitch, I got my own place. I make my own money. I cook. I clean. I do señora shit. And I'm not even a fucking señora. Like, I got long hair. I'm Latina. I got a good personality. I'm funny. I sometimes I got an attitude, but I'm not like crazy. Is it that hard? Like, is it that hard finding a good, genuine person? Fuck, bro. Am I gonna be single forever? No mames, güey. Tal vez me voy a morir sin nadie. Fuck, guys. I'm kind of freaking out. Like, is it that fucking hard, bitch? Anyways, I'm gonna go cry.
Guys. Guys. All right, dude, your heart bleeds, man. My heart bleeds for this woman. She has done everything that everybody has told her to do. I have done everything. I look good. I smell great. I shower every day. The dating coach on the TV told me if I showered every day, he would love all women. I showered every day. Where is he? Unfortunately, he's probably in jail after the January 6th thing in America. But whatever. So, you know what? Here. I'm going to let her use her own words. So, like, oh, that man, let's get on there. Let's see her wholesome TikToks of her talking about the troubles of finding a man. How it's just so hard to find love in, I don't know, wherever she is, Miami, or isn't that where everybody is now? That's like trash. Look at Miami. But here.
Huh, I'm 8.5 inches. Damn, dude, this guy's tiny. He must be a dwarf. Sorry, I'm not interested in being friends with midgets. Midgets piss me off. Frowny face.
I'm not friends with midgets. Dude. Here, you remember that? You started off with like a roller coaster, man. It's like, oh man, she's so cute. I would totally date her. There's nothing wrong with her. Maybe she's a little spicy, but whatever. It's just a Latin thing. I can handle that. It's a little passion. Don't you want genuine desire where a girl's truly into you? And then she's like, 5'11". Fuck out of here. And you're just like, yeah, you feel that? It's the sympathy roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down. Yeah. Look, I will tell you right now, everybody gets the relationship they deserve. And don't get mad at me, because your ego is the one that lied to you. Not all the relationships you're in. I don't know who filled her head with these lies. I guarantee you every guy who wanted to sleep with her for the last 10 years was telling her exactly what she wanted to hear because, well, let's just face it, nobody's going to be honest with a girl. Why would you do that? Because then she just might not like you. And her friends aren't going to be honest with her. Her friends are probably all married up with families, and now they're laughing at her, and they're like, oh, yeah, remember that when I told her to, like, be funny and get a good career? Oh, good times. She almost got my man, too, until I just started putting out and then was acting nice to him. I don't know. Like I said, I know this stuff is half a sketch, but it's just like, you can't feel bad. Like, look, this place, it's the market is killer. The market is killer. And you let them do what they do, and sometimes it just don't work out, and you just gotta let them vent. Like I will say, here, you want to know some good advice for you so you don't end up being the male version of this? First off, cut your eyelashes if they get that long, because it's dangerous. You might kill somebody. Take out an eye. Secondly, when you need to vent about how these bitches ain't shit, just do it. Don't do it online. Shh. Quietly just cry into your pillow, scream a bit, punch it, and then do that whisper shout. I can't believe you want them. That way your mom's not banging on your thing. The neighbors aren't calling the cops thinking, I think he's killing somebody in there. You just get your misery out of the way. Get up next day at like 11:45, grab your bathrobe, eat some cereal inside of like a Tupperware container because all your bowls are dirty. Get your cry out, and then take your 24 hours, do the Lethal Weapon thing where you look at the bottle of vodka and you look at the M9 and you're like, no, I'll take the bottle of vodka. Then the next day, get back out there and go do your thing. Like, dude, what do you bring to the table? Girls are desperate for a table. Unfortunately, she says she wants the table to be 6 foot, but there's something else in your corner too, is that if you check, there's like a genetic difference in IQ tests between men and women, and it turns out spatial logic, men consistently rate better. So if she is into you, she will think you're 8'10", and when she's not into you, you're 5 foot manlet. So don't worry about it. If she thinks you're too short for her, that means she's just not into you. She would have picked something else, but height is the thing that they've been told since Cosmo magazine was selling stuff on the shelves, that this is what you want in a man. Okay, here. You like the pick-me-girl stuff? Let's do a pick-me-girl one. Here. Let's see how girls can offer these dating apps. Let's see if they offer things that are half as golden as the crap I'm offering you here. I bet you not, but let's find out.
You really want to know when you lost him? When you failed to realize that all he needed was appreciation instead of another long list of requests. And when you failed to realize that all he needed was one compliment back for the endless ones that he gave to you. That is when you lost a good man.
Okay, couple things. Great energy. Love the energy, the sliding into shot, very risky business, got the Tom Cruise vibes, love it. Long blonde hair, you're dressed seductively, but also like, you know, not too hardcore. It's great, we're good for the demographic, and the men's rights guys love to hear this stuff. It's great. I have seen many guys, parents, friends, family, separated, divorced, lost their kids, lost their house, lost their lives, all kinds of craziness. Not once has there been a guy who said, "What happened?" She never said that my shirt looked nice. She never said how glowing my skin was this morning. Compliments were never the reason. And it is funny because this is why you cannot take dating advice from women. Because women have no idea what a man is. Like, they can see one, they can date one, they can talk about one, and they can bitch about... Oh, they will bitch about one. They will bitch about him all the time. There's an entire industry built around bitching at some dude. One thing they cannot do is put themselves into the shoes of one. In this case of the nagging wife that drove husband to whatever, to suck start a shotgun or to finally go sleep with the maid or whatever, it wasn't the compliments. The constant nagging is just a sign of her sexual frustration. I don't know what the deal is there, but I'll tell you right now, the one thing it's not is compliments. Be pleasant absolutely works. No guy needs to be told, "Hey, tell me how pretty I am. How about just make my life easier?" Then again, I mean, whatever. She's trying at least. I guess she's on the right team. So what if she's playing on the wrong side of the field? Whatever. She's got a ton of these, by the way. She's actually huge. She's way bigger than me. So this almost looks like I'm like hating those above me. What's the Rich Cooper thing? Hate always comes from beneath. Well, she's bigger than me on TikTok. But then again, so is that guy that keeps shitting his pants and washing spoons. So whatever. Anyways, let's do something a little lighthearted here. Let's not go too serious. I'm going to walk through something about fights. So what do you bring to the table? And for a guy, what you have to bring to the table is, and I learned this from an episode of Friends, you know it's good, unagi. That constant awareness of your surroundings. Case in point.
This is a great question, and the answer is that I am annoying.
Well, Marshall McLuhan came out with this phrase called "the medium is the message," talking about television and how television changes the way you perceive information. Having said that, when you look at that TikTok where a girl's calling herself annoying about catching you in a conversation just before you fall asleep, what was the medium there? I'll give you a hint. Probably boba. Take that, language filters. Here, look. If there's a serious conversation to be had, and I don't know why you think there is. I mean, well, why she thinks there is. But like, it's like, I'm going to wait till he's half out of it, asleep, and wake him up and talk about it. There's two reasons for this. Two. What do you bring to the table? Situational awareness. Because one, when he's at his most tired, he will say and do anything to go back to sleep. You probably will, because I know I would do that, and everybody loves sleep. And if that's the time to have these serious conversations, just realize, like, she did that on purpose. In the same way that, like, remember the movie Gladiator, where at the end, the Emperor was going to fight Buddy, and so he stabbed him a bit first. He's like, there, so now it's an easier fight. This is essentially that. She's stabbing Maximus? Maximus. Stabbing Maximus a bit before they have their fight in the gladiator pit. In your case, yeah, she's annoying. Shut that shit down. Go back to sleep. Having said that, sometimes it's because she's been stressing out over something and completely neurotic for like the last, hour and couldn't sleep. So she's like, well, I can't sleep. He needs to fix this. And what that is a discounted one-way ticket to Pound Town. I will tell you this right now. The endorphin rush you get post-sex is one of the best ways to put a woman to sleep. Think it through. Or not. It's your fight. But then again, maybe just tell her, hey, could you just give me a compliment and then maybe this relationship would be better? Like, that would be just fucking wicked, don't you think? Dude, whatever. Look, I love girls. Like, they're great. They smell nice. They tell good jokes. Better fashion sense than most guys. And for the most part, until they get the crazy eyes, wonderful people. Some assholes aside. But, like, you gotta stop telling men about dating because, Jesus, this guy's gonna listen to this stuff and his life's over. He's gonna come in there. He's like, I followed like 15 TikTok accounts. Why am I no good with women? And I'll be like, you might as well just follow alpha males on Twitter. You'll have a slightly better success rate because at least they'll tell you how to get prostitutes. Speaking of which, dear God, did you find another female dating coach? Yeah, with copyright. Can you believe somebody went to school, bought that sex doll, and then decided to show off all 6 years of their schooling at what the fuck university? Dudes. All right, anyways. I get what she's trying to say. You're going to have a bunch of emotions. But here's the thing. It turns out guys already did this, and we sorted it out. We even got it better. Is this guy, James Franco, David Clare, David Clare, bunch of other guys. Anyways, the book's called Practical Female Psychology for the Practical Man. It was a bunch of pickup artists. They were in their like mid-40s. They've been through the ringer. They've been that, done that. Had a couple friends who were shrinks, and they're like, hey, let's put our notes together. So the guys were talking about picking up girls. The other guys were talking about Evo Psych and all the other science stuff. And then it turns out that actually a relationship does have 5 stages. And those, they put it in. The first one is testing the guy. And that's the one where like you're angry, you're insecure, sex is great, they're fighting for you, all that genuine desire stuff that guys are all about. And if you're like crazy, like borderline and stuff, then they kind of take that one and dial it up to 12. So after that phase is the get them to open up phase. The idea is you got them attracted to you, now you want them to keep you. And that's where the whole, where is this going? Talk about your feelings. I need a man to be vulnerable in front of me. I'm sure you've heard that before, where this whole, why aren't men more vulnerable? And everybody's like, why? Because you'll just leave me. And it turns out, it's not that they're wrong, it's that you guys are getting the timing wrong. It's, once they want to get all the crazy Chad stuff out of the way. Then once they got Chad, they use the validation stuff to lock him down, because they know once I get a guy to cry in my lap and I can comb his hair with my fingers and tell him everything's going to be all right, like his own personal ASMR, and I got that motherfucker now. Hooked him into that relationship. And then it's the next step, putting him to work. Put him to work. Hey, leave the toilet seat up. Hey, put the toilet paper the other way. Hey, go get me a glass of water. Rub my feet. Rub my back. All those little demands come in. Give me 4 babies. I don't want to work. You need to work. Because let's face it, what do I bring to the table? Well, let's just say a girl wants all this stuff in her life and she can't get it by herself, so she kind of needs you. So what do you bring to the table? It's like, I don't know, all that crap you want and you can't seem to get in the empty bottle of wine and the Xanax. Next phase. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing is ever good enough. And this is where you get like the naggy, complaining wives. This is where like a girl, and I guess there's some Evo Psych stuff here where it's like they were saying that cave ladies, back in the day, cave people were like, if I have 1 cave dad and 5 cave babies, all it takes is 1 cave virus, 1 cave COVID, and the whole family's ruined. But if I get 5 dudes to knock me up with 5 different kids, the chances that one of those kids are going to have the COVID antibodies is greater. But emotionally, it's really hard to get everybody all hooked on each other and then just get up and walk away. That's how people get murdered. So what do instead? They nag the relationship to death. It's just instinct. They're not trying. They just feel like the love's not there anymore. And then they have to express this every damned day. And then the last phase is like, well, he was abusive. He wasn't 6 feet tall. We got to go. So whatever. But knowing this, you can actually get through those, realize what's going on in the relationship. Because if you start getting that whole end stage there, then you're like, yeah, it's time to cut now before she ends up making me hate my life and start a shotgun. Or you can do the MRA thing, run through the entire process, cry about it on social media, have a female men's rights activist influencer tell you how bad you've got it, and have her, use you when she needs to win internet arguments by trotting you out in front of people talking about how bad your divorce was. It's your call. I almost forgot to mention at that end of the 5th phase is, I think Rollo talks about Rollo Tomasi, Roger Tomarso. If you guys have never heard of him, very influential author. He's a nice guy. We even do a podcast together. Talks about it as like the resurgence. It turns out that when girls in their early 20s, they love the Cancun foam parties, they love to go out and hang out and have fun. And then they get married, settle down, they want the kids, they get all that, stable wife stuff, right? And then, after the divorce, if they go that route, all of a sudden it's like, hey, back to that foam party. But then the problem is, if you're like 37, just getting started again, well, you know what? I'm not going to spoil the surprise. There is a bunch of examples later on, and I'm going to show you, and you're going to enjoy them. I think you're going to enjoy them. It's not going to be as cool as the MGTOW 42069 videos. The ones where they have like 8 hours of girl crying ASMR. Kind of creepy, by the way, but it'll be a little more fun than that. I will remind you when it comes up again, though. Oh, here's the thing too. Okay, so the theme of the thing was relationship stuff. Girl sabotaging it. What do you bring to the table? It's whatever. Prefaced it. Here you go. It's basically saying hell no. How many guys do you know? I know a few who have had a girl walk in, maybe some student debt, maybe just kind of lulling about in an MRS degree. If you guys don't know, those are those jobs that are just waiting around for a husband. Bank teller, waitress, cosmetician. The ones that do like the eyelash dyeing and whatever. All those jobs that are basically just like something to buy beer money for when you're at your parents'. And then they grab the guy and you're like, oh, great, now get me a house. Flip the thing. Make the girl work really hard for all this stuff. And then guy's like, hey, put me on the mortgage. And they're like, yeah, screw you. Having said that, I don't buy that either. I think a guy wanting to be put on your mortgage is like a guy having to be 6 foot. Because I'll tell you right now, do you remember what's that Netflix show? Do you guys see the Netflix show? We just talked about that thing. Not West Elm Caleb. Where's the spirit of Roger Tomarso when you need him? Oh, the Tinder swindler. The guy, 5 foot nothing. 5 foot nothing, full of charm and rented Lamborghinis and aviator shades and some slick back gelled up hair, and he was getting all kinds of money off of these girls. So I'm telling you right now, if girls like this are actually into you, they're signing over the keys. They don't care because this love comes once in a lifetime. What do you offer to the table, they say? Well, something that you really want more than you wanted that mortgage. What is that? What do I want? What do I know? I don't know. It's like emotions. Emotions, good feelings, family, love. The fact that you're not her damned stepfather who, you know what? I've had way too many of these go to a really dark place. Let's keep this one light and funny. Speaking of light and funny, who's ready for some hoe shit? Who's ready for some hoe shit? All right, here we go. Out of all the flexes, this one actually confuses me. In the chat, let me know, why do the clothes matter? Like, what is the point of that flex? Is this like medium as a message? She's trying to show off her new shirt from HomeSense? Is it? I mean, never mind the super overexposed. And I know that's not what she looks like. TikTok does some amazing work right now. By the way, if you ever find that TikTok, the comments on it are lit. Angry Karens are pissed. They're like, I better not be my man. And she's like him too. Yeah, so I guess new clothes, sleeping with married men, not ashamed of it. To be fair, the shame doesn't come during or before. The walk of shame comes after. If you guys haven't seen this, which means you haven't lived in a barracks or in a college dorm or any like communal living space. It's this thing where a girl has fun, goes out, fools around with somebody she most likely shouldn't have. Either he was the wrong guy for her, or he was her boss, or he was married. Oh, Deloitte conferences, KPMG consultant stuff too. Yeah, I've heard some stories. Anyways, the walk of shame is because your hair is messy. It's the same bar clothes. Meanwhile, it's 10:30 in the morning and you're walking towards brunch looking like a hot mess. And everybody kind of knows, oh, somebody there just did something they regret. So I guess this is her way of saying no walk of shame and that she has some new clothes. Having said that, that's some pretty good hoeing when you're like, you plan and you bring like a spare set of clothes and like those shoes. You ever seen those purse shoes? They're for girls because they always hate heels. It hurts their feet. So they walk around with these like little rubber Vibram 5-finger type shoes. So that way they aren't stepping on broken glass, puking on the street. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Purse shoes. Got it. What's that got to do with hoeing around? Don't worry about it. Speaking of the walk of shame, the internet age has made it to the point where it's beyond the walk of shame, and now it's the TikTok of shame.
Dating in your 40s after divorce is like, yo, babe, age is nothing but a number. Yes, honey, that's what I said when I was 19, too.
I don't know where she was going. I don't know what she was doing. But it's funny. There is like a large amount of 40-year-old women who can't find any man after the divorce, not to date, not to sleep with, not to nothing. What do? They turn into a guy from 1976 who goes floating around high schools looking for the graduating class that year. What's that meme? Every year I get a year older, and every year the girls stay the same age. Like, women were told they could be anything they wanted to be, and they decided to be a fucking Chad from the 1970s. Here's the funny thing. According to the chats in this one, that was like a post-sex conversation, which I guess she was like, why can't you just get up and play Xbox with my son and then leave? But hey, whatever. Sucks though that the kind of men that are into you are the ones that, what is it, 30% of men under the age of like 30 aren't having sex at all, and then like most of the women above 40 aren't having the sex they'd want either, and so it's like a match made in heaven. It's just too bad that afterwards everybody hates each other. I just don't get it. Hey, whatever. It's not for me. It's for you. Here's your public service announcement. Don't be that guy. Don't eat paint. And then the next one. You know what? It's not actually the same girl, but you'd never know that. Here. People don't even date anymore. They just talk, catch feelings, have a good thing going on a little, then ignore each other. You guys ever heard of this term? It's called pump and dump. It's where basically a guy is really nice to a girl. She likes the validation. She's like, oh, the vibe is great. They sleep together. And then he dumps her right afterwards. Turns out, guys actually have some say in what they do in the sexual marketplace. We don't agree to just like do whatever you want us to do. And it turns out a lot of guys don't want anything, just sex. Maybe it's because he doesn't think the girl is pretty enough. Maybe it's because he's not interested. Maybe it's because she did some crazy stuff because she's divorced at 40 and hasn't had a conversation with a man in like 20 years who wasn't nagging at her husband. I don't know. It's not my circus. It's not my monkeys. I will say this, though. If you can't get past date 2 as a girl, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Oh! So we were doing the breakups one, and I thought, I gotta find something. Like, you know what? I can't just be sitting here talking about, like, hoes and whatever. I think that's rather crass, you know? So I'm gonna do one now where it's the guy. Here, this is... And again, don't feel any sympathy, because this is what happens, like, when the girl's 23. I hate to be that guy. I hate to be that. What these kids up? This isn't music. I don't want to be that guy. But You're catching your girl cheating on you at college. First off, there's no such thing as a long-term relationship. If she's in another town, you're basically done. You're demoted to plate. You go up there, you catch her fooling around with some frat boy, and then she has this need to hug you. You know what that hugging is? It's because in her caveman brain, she's like, if I don't do this, he's gonna murder my whole fucking family. And so she's like, she needs you to be okay with it. Now the part that I don't get, it's like, whatever. It's kids. Kids do stupid things, have stupid emotions. Let them be them. Let me learn it the hard way. I'm sitting there staring at a girl. She's cheating on me. Breaks my heart. Aw, poor guy. Also, that bowl cut's damned weird. And he's like, you know what this needs? A fucking TikTok. Like, guys, you're allowed to have emotions if it's not televised. I'm telling you, it's just fine. You'll be okay. Or maybe not. Maybe that's the thing. It's like, I don't know how to feel unless I can relate it to a SpongeBob episode somehow. Let me know in the chat, or let me know, comment below. Do you feel emotions when it's not SpongeBob? Whatever. Whatever. But not all hope is lost. Some people are self-aware. They get it, and it just sucks. Oh my God. You know what? Taking it like a champ. You got to give her credit like that. Good for you, madam. I wouldn't date you, but that's fine. Somebody will find you. Keep it up there. I don't know how many people have this self-awareness thing. Maybe a lot, maybe a few. Whatever. But you'd be surprised how many people are like, I hate this soon-to-be ex-wife of mine. Or she's like, I hate this guy. He's an asshole. Nobody likes each other. And then they separate thinking, oh, thank God. Now I can go back to being perfect, and he could be an asshole somewhere else. And it turns out, once you get rid of the other person, you get to find out all the stuff. Oh, I actually had a bunch of shit wrong with me too. Now, I would argue, everybody talks about girls hitting the wall when they become, they don't become unattractive, but they become less attractive than they were. And it hits this threshold where people stop saying what they want to hear to sleep with them to actually being honest. That's the first wall. And then the second wall is the ones that they do to themselves. They realize it's like, oh, maybe my ex-husband wasn't a prick. Maybe he wasn't lazy. Maybe he wasn't useless. Maybe I was a giant bitch. Which I'm hoping that makes you guys feel better, because right now, you should be focused on replacing her with something younger, something hotter, something more pleasant, and never putting yourself in a position to get nagged to death again. But a lot of you guys have shared parenting arrangements, so if she becomes self-aware, becomes more pleasant, you can be on good terms with your ex, fill your boots. It's the greatest feeling in the world, especially when like they're dating somebody new, but they still come over to smash every now and again, and then give you the kids for extra weekends. It's like win-win scenario. It's like divorce court. Divorce court for Chads. All right. What's this one? Copyright again. I hate how dude, the most annoying thing about this is that there is so much copyright stuff used on TikToks that I basically have to mute it. Having said that, it's mostly the same, like 5 songs from, I don't know, whoever's hot right now, the top 40 hits, and it's the same ones. Like, people are not only living these quiet lives of horrible desperation, and not only are they like boring personality-wise, but they don't even have good taste in music. So if anything, I'm doing you a favor so you don't have to look at TikTok. Oh, yeah, that was the point of this one. Don't feel bad. They do it to themselves. They want to do it. All right, check this shit out. What is the meme? Skittles Man? Don't be a Skittles Man. Dude, have you guys heard of Skittles Man? This is Skittles Man. Actually, this is exactly what Skittles Man was. There was like a chick bitching to her friend at like Applebee's or something like that about how this guy dotes on her, buys her all this stuff, wants to take her on vacations, wants to marry her, and she's like putting him through the ringer, making him jump through all these hoops. Meanwhile, she won't stop talking about this other guy, never returned her calls, never learned her last name, never met her friends, never bought her a thing in her life. She says like, once for my birthday, he bought me a bag of Skittles. And she's like, I don't even like Skittles. And then they were talking, and Royce, Chateau Artiste, was talking about this. Absolutely hilarious. And she just wouldn't stop talking about him because of the guy she couldn't have. He was hotter. He was more aloof. It's a challenge because girls don't like to be pampered. It sounds weird, like they like it, but they don't love it. But what they do love is somebody who they desperately want to pamper them, who refuses to, but they're still into. It's like an ego thing. It's like once I pick a man, he can do whatever he wants to because I refuse to admit that I may have picked a wrong guy. I would much rather sit here and pine over him while somebody buys me a trip to Turks and Caicos. But what can I say? Like, if you have to buy a girl a gift and she's still making you jump through hoops, it's your own fault because I guarantee you she's honest with those guys. Maybe she's not saying who she's pining over, but she is showing that she's not fully invested. Oh, pretty sad. I tell you what, here. We're goofing around. We're laughing at TikToks. Oh, look at these women. They're 40 and they're miserable. This is great. Oh, so much. This totally makes up for the fact that I haven't been laid in 9 months. Here. You want some real talk? Let's do like a proper PSA documentary. Some of them are turning around. Some of them are figuring their shit out. Let's watch.
Have you ever looked up the definition of a misogynist? I just did for the first time, and it's not what I thought it would be. Misogynist, a person who dislikes, despises, or is strongly prejudiced against women. It's silly for me to be shocked, but I just always assumed it meant something less extreme, maybe disrespects or is arrogant towards. Do you know what the opposite of a misogynist is? It's not a feminist, like me and my friends originally thought. It's a whole other word we didn't even know existed. Misandry is the hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against men. And I hated that word. Because on my worst days, I'm afraid that definition fits me. And it doesn't sound heroic like feminist. It sounds villainous, evil even. The way misogynist sounds like a predatorial dragon come to devour any female to cross its path. It's embarrassing to count the amount of days I have allowed that dragon to take on its female form inside of my heart. My mouth burns with hatred as I use my words as a flamethrower. I hate men. All men suck. Even the good ones are just pretending. Men are beneath me. But the gross part is that it's considered acceptable for me to say these things out loud today. But if I ever heard those words come out of my brother's mouth, I hate all women, women suck, women are beneath me, our society would burn him at the stake, myself included. But my culture says it's okay for me to say those types of things. I'm not a villain. I'm a hero. I'm standing up for myself, for all women. So they fuel the fire and I continue to rage, letting my stored up unforgiveness and pain belittle and set the male species in flames.
All right. I can't take that anymore. Look, guys, I'm gonna let you on a little secret. It's like, geez, that sounds great. She finally gets it. Hating women. Nobody hates women. They're just frustrated or angry. But a lot of girls hate men and they're misogynist, but they're opposite, but it's not feminist like me and my friends. And I'm like, wow, she gets it. But then you realize she's reading off a fucking slam poetry list that somebody else wrote. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She didn't look this up. She doesn't even own a dictionary. She doesn't even know that you can just type dictionary.com in your brand new iPhone. She's too busy sending WhatsApps. Dude, all this is like, I'm going to read this thing. I'm going to put some real sad music in the background, some like inspiring shit, like from a Gandhi or Joe Rogan quote. And then I'll get a lot of followers. That's it. Don't trust. Like, once she starts talking that flowery about dudes, you're like, all right, now here, this is why the men's rights advocacy movement is horseshit. Horseshit. Because it's going to be cheerleaders like this that want male attention. And they find there's a bunch of ways to get it. You can be a thought. You can be super bitchy, and those guys that hate themselves will love you for treating them like shit. Or you can pat them on the head and tell them, there, sir, it's going to be okay. You'll be all right. Everything's fine. I understand. I agree. I'm a pick-me girl. And to be fair, I wouldn't even throw any hate at this girl because I guarantee there's like an internal war among women. The pick-me girls and the men ain't shit women. And they're like infinity war. Each one of them's trying to get that 5th infinity stone. I don't know what the 5 ones are. It's like, I don't know. Time, menstruation, appies, alcohol, Xanax. I don't know. Captain Planet. Yeah. So relax. When I would say having a girl tell you what you want to hear is probably one of the best red flags out there, especially if you haven't earned it. And if you haven't earned it, I'll give you a hint. You want to know what that means? It means smashing, and smashing well. You'll know if you've earned it. Don't let your ego sell you off here. Oh yeah. Can't copy. This one's copyright, so I can't do the tune either. Just hum in your head the best Usher tune you can think of. Trust me, we'll get there. We'll get there. That's some Dr. Dre stuff in the back, just in case you were wondering like that. A lot of F-bombs. A lot of uncouth language, you know? All right. So we were talking about the 40-year-old dating thing. Here's what happens. She thinks, I was hot when I was 20. Now that I'm 40, I'm still just as hot. Nothing's changed. The only thing that changed is my husband turned into an asshole. So they get out there dating, and they pull all the best. Remember I was talking about pick-me-girl stuff before? That's like no different than the MRA, except for there's some work involved. Like anybody can pat the guy in the head and tell him everything will be okay. At least she made some bread. I made sourdough. I'm a trad wife. I got a sun hat and a summer dress. I took a picture in a cornfield. My tattoos are hidden. Like, what more do you want from me? But yeah, then you find out after and here's the thing. I don't think a lot of girls figure this out. A lot of guys don't figure this out too, which is sad. But those who know. If you know, you know? Yeah, no. Guys who are hitting 40, 35 to 45. That's kind of like the girl equivalent of being 18 to like 25. It's weird. There's that big gap there, right? That's why a lot of couples that have a younger girl and older guy tend to work out, because everybody peaks at the same time. And so every year after, they start getting uglier together. And that's when they end up as those two old people in the park. You always thought, oh, look at those two great-grandmother and grandfathers. They're like 85 and 86. Turns out the guy's like 97 and the girl's like 63. But they look the same, and it's adorable. And they'll die in each other's arms, in a sad ending. What's the ending of The Notebook? They'll do that shit. But yeah, like, dude, girls will date, and some will do well, and a lot won't. And the ones that don't do well, they get really angry and bitter about it. And that's where all the demands start coming in, because, like, I'm angry. This dating's not going well, but it can't be my fault. So it's got to be your fault. I'm not an asshole. You're an asshole. And I hate to tell them, it's like, if I have to hear, and I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this, but if I have to hear Kevin Samuels talking about holding women accountable one more fucking time, I'm like, dude, they don't care. Let them learn the hard way, and they'll figure it out. Speaking of not learning it the hard way, and if you think that's just cherry picking, I got a bunch of these. I think we're only gotten like 2 or 3, but like, look at this one. Typical, I can't express my emotions without a goddamn copyright Usher song in the background. Well, at least you know the lyrics to the song. Look at that. I mean, that's kind of like, in the movie, like at the end of Cowboy Bebop, I'm making an anime reference here. I know, but trust me, we'll still do alpha male stuff at the end of this. At the end where he's like going off to fight, and he knows he's going to die, but he's like, no, but that's something I got to do. This is kind of like the dating equivalent of the ending of Cowboy Bebop, minus the really cool sword and gunfight at the end. Just saying. And like, that's the worst part too. Like, she's almost 30. I mean, she looks 40, but she's almost 30. And it's just like, actually, you know what it is? There. I actually, sometimes I'm at a loss for words in these things. Here's what it is. Everybody's like, where have all the good men gone? All the guys are like, women ain't shit. And everybody's wondering why everybody's miserable and unhappy. Let me let you in a little secret. And it's not because of the West or China or birth control or hypergamy or any of that nonsense. It's simple statistics. If you're good at a relationship, you don't have any, horrible mental issues in that, you tend to get in a relationship early. You date your high school sweetheart. You date around a little bit in your 20s, and then you settle down with a guy before 25. Like, you're basically off the market earlier. And there's a lot of girls that, are absolutely horrible, but they're good at locking down a guy like this one here. She's like probably got married at 18, 19, 20. So all of these people are off the market. And then by the time, if you're dating girls that are like 30, you're finding all the girls who couldn't find men at their absolute hottest time of their life. Imagine that. And then wonder why guys ask themselves, why are women so horrible? It's like, it's because you're at the bar at 2:45. They just called last call. The lights are coming on and you're desperately looking around. Where can I find me a hot waifu? And then all that left is that one girl there that calls you a sweetheart and says you can play Xbox with her son. Are you surprised? I wouldn't be surprised. And here's the worst part. Then as you get older, the first group, the subset of them that were no good at it, but still managed to get locked down against all odds and better sense, they got divorced now. So not only were they bad at relationships, but now they're 20 years out of practice. So now you got to have like double dip into the crazy pool. But that's the thing here. I mean, kudos to her for kind of catching on. But I will say this, she was wearing a skirt and a denim jacket. this season, it's like such 80s vibes. And I know this is probably going to be aging myself, but I remember seeing like my mom and my older, like that whole generation when they got divorced, there's like this brand new divorced outfit that everybody had to get, where it was ripped denim jeans, a leather jacket, and a fresh perm. And I don't know how to describe it, but it just smells like gin and tonic, you know? Gin and tonic and flavored vodka. Poor things. But I don't feel too bad. Let them cope. They want to cope. Let them cope. Hey, speaking of let them cope. You want to know the difference? You want to know the difference between men and women? It's like if a man can't get nobody, he's like, man, I ain't shit. That's okay. And if a girl can't get nobody, she's like, well, nobody's good enough. That's the problem. It's just so weird to see like so many similarities between 40-year-old spinsters and 20-year-old MGTOWs and black pill guys. Like always inflated standards. I will say this though. Like the incels don't bother to clean themselves up and look good, and a lot of them are out of shape. Not all of them. There's somebody who can be, oh, black pill 420. I work out every day. Okay, not you, but all the other ones. But a lot of those guys like don't stay in shape and then wonder why they can't get a woman. And then a lot of these girls, they do get in shape. They like go anorexic and they still can't get one. So I mean, like, say what you will about being an incel, but like there's some effort you could throw in and probably make like a major life change. Who knows? But then again, could be worse. Remember when I was talking to you before about the ones that they got into a relationship against better sense, but they just suck at them anyway? Here's what I'm talking about. Let's put it in visual form. Of course it's copyright again, so just hum something. There was a table of these ones. That was literal Sex in the City with like 3 Samanthas right there doing the dumbest stuff. Dude, there's a saying. I don't know if you know this one, but it's a girl would rather share a guy, a top tier dude, than be saddled with a loyal dude who's not as good. Like a alpha beta, whatever. I don't want to use the alpha male thing because everybody's run that into the ground. It's cringe as hell. It's almost as cringe as sticking with the dude after he tries to marry somebody else. Like I don't think you're supposed to be a mistress before the guy gets married. I think you have to join up after, but I don't know. I didn't read the rules. Let me know in the chat which way it's supposed to work. Are you allowed to be a preemptive matrix? Is like the prequels to Sex and the City? I don't know. But yeah, like where do you think these girls are going to be? Like they're probably young right now. Let's say they're 25. And how long are they going to stick around? Probably a while. Probably until they realize there's no hope, plus 10 days. By the way, the dog shadow behind me is a little creepy. A little creepy. They're going to get to be 30, 32, whatever, and they're going to be angry. Not at themselves for doing stupid things, but angry at you for not being as good as that guy that strung them along. And I'm just like, I have a feeling these are the exact same girls that spend all day on like Tumblr and Reddit talking about how female dating strategy is better and red pill guys don't know what they're talking about. And I'm telling you right now, like, the votes are in. They've been tallied. Simon has said his mean stuff. And guess who's going to the next round? Probably the red pill guys. At least the good ones. Not the White Claw Miami types, but whatever. Oh, you got a double header about those girls that got into a relationship and don't know what they're doing. Here, enjoy it. Hey, copyright. Hum your favorite tune. Have you ever, in the history of ever, never, ever, have you ever thought, I had herpes. Maybe I can turn this into 500 likes on Instagram or TikTok. I never did. I never did. But there it is. Not only is the chick like, I'm going to tell a great story about how I got herpes. He's also going to say the story about how she was embarrassed by the guys. Like, how do you not know everybody has this? Like, I'm here to tell you. No, they don't. No, they don't. There is so many things you can do that don't involve barebacking that can keep you from getting herpes. Not sleeping with crackheads. Not sleeping with a dude that's got 30 chicks in his harem. I don't know, not wifing up a single mom with herpes would be a nice way of doing it too. It's just weird. It's like, everybody's talking about red flags, you know, like red flags. If a girl has colored hair, if she doesn't wear a skirt, if she's got her makeup wrong, if her hair's short, and all these things. Here's a good red flag. Does she brag about getting herpes? If so, that lets you know a lot about her. It lets you know, A, she's reckless and irresponsible, and B, I don't know what medical long-term effects there are, but everybody's worried that COVID's going to kill you. I'm pretty sure herpes and the Hep and that, I'm sure they have an effect too. Somebody in the chat, is anybody a doctor? Can somebody give me some doctorly advice on herp chicks? I don't know. Ooh, here's actually something that's worse than that. It's worse than an STD. I want you guys to see something. There are two things. Obviously, you're meant, like, there's a reason that text right there was magically placed at the proper vantage point to completely avoid the quality of that tattoo. Where's the clavicle? You guys see a clavicle? I don't see a clavicle. Did you ever wonder why it is guys reject physical intimacy? And it's not because low T. It's not because of addiction to porn. Everybody tells themselves that, but I already told you, everybody lies to women their whole lives. Do you know what it is? We need to see a clavicle. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Health at any clavicle. There you go. So why'd she stay in that relationship? Well, she stayed because that was her best option. Hypergamous best option. Here's the thing. I ask this question, and nobody ever answers. They always like completely ignore it when it comes up. But I always say, what relationship do you think is going to last longer? A relationship where a guy desperately wants to make it work, but a girl's checked out? Or a relationship where a guy doesn't give a shit and a girl's super invested? Now, if there's any doubts, I want you to look at this one right now. This girl willingly put herself in a dead bedroom situation because she was into that guy. In fact, she would do everything it took to try and keep him, except for run on a treadmill, which, to be fair, treadmills are awful hard on the joints, especially when you're packing that much extra clavicle. So maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. Is that mean? Probably. But, like, it's a self-inflicted prison. And I could just pull up 3 more TikToks from her channel and watch her treating men like absolute trash. So I don't feel too bad about it. It's just mean-spirited people going mean-spirited. But I've been showing you guys a lot of the outcome of these poor decisions. Why don't you hold a women, like, here? You want to see it? Here, happening live. First time on this channel. You'll never see this happen before. Yes, it's copyrighted because you can't have an emotion without Usher playing, but 3 months, starting over, 29. She should watch my out-of-pocket TikTok about the girl that was dating the 40-year-old guy and didn't want to be a roommate or whatever. I think that panda yoda could solve all of her problems. But, like, she gets it. Now, I don't know what Buddy did, but this was like, this is her best shot. She's like, bam, I'm cashing out. It's good. Now, whatever he did, probably knocked up a girl or left her. I don't even know. Not that it really matters. But again, how can you feel super bad about people when they decide to have a real, genuine emotion, really genuinely, like, feel bad about this stuff, and then they're like, you know what I need? I need some validation from it. Like, don't feel bad. The market's the way it is. It's going to work the way it works. Yeah, sorry you didn't get a husband. Sorry you didn't get 2 kids. But hey, your account just hit 10,000 yesterday. Congratulations. See what I mean? Everybody's talking about this being a dystopic state. It's a win-win scenario. Speaking of which, this one, I might get copyrighted for it, but I just love it. Here, you guys want some? You guys want some? Here's some. Enjoy.
Finna tell on you.
All right. I need a poll. I need a poll in the comments. I don't know if I can add one. I'm going to try and add one. When you first saw that, how many people had your first thought going, is that dude talking about Jack Murphy? Let me know in the chat. Did you think it? I thought it. I actually thought it. And then I thought that was the red hen girl or whatever until I looked below and he had like the dude's Facebook underneath it. I legit thought that was like the Jack Murphy thing coming back. So I'm like, it's been almost 4 days in the manosphere since somebody has done some like horrible unmasculine shit. And I'm like, that sounds like a time we're about due. It's kind of like a train crash in India or a flood in China or whatever. We're getting despondic here. I guess the follow up to this too is like, well, isn't all this information helping people? You know, like, aren't you holding women accountable once they know this information? Won't they make better choices?
Say it with me now. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. So done.
She's not done. She's not even close to done. If he wanted to, he would. They know. That's the worst part. Here, I know it's like, dude, do I have sympathy? Do I not have sympathy? What do I do? I don't know. Do what you want. Here's the thing. She knows he doesn't want to. She knows this, but the heart wants what the heart wants. I don't care if he's married. I don't care if he's got the baby mama sleeping in the basement. I don't care if I'm on his phone as Pizza Hut delivery driver. I don't care if he only calls me at 3 a.m. I don't care if he doesn't know my last name. I don't care how cool that tropical bag of Skittles was. I think I got a shot at this. The heart wants what the heart wants. Unfortunately, what women have as their heart is what guys have as their ego. Once it tells you something, you don't trust anybody else. My heart takes me to sleep every night. My heart gets drunk with me every weekend. My heart takes Ativan, just like me. And at the end of the day, my heart lied to me. My heart's a prick. Son of a bitch, huh? But hey, I mean, you can't do anything about it. Geez, now here's the question. Do I feel bad or do I not feel bad? I'll give you a hint. No! Hey, anybody here ever binge drink a lot? I'll give you a hint. Those Gatorades on the counter there, that tells you another red flag. Hey, I'm not a big alcoholic. I'm not a big drinker. And you're dating a girl and you see a bunch of Gatorades by your nightstand, you run. Only one kind of person needs electrolytes at 8 in the morning. Well, 2 people. One of them are Olympic sprinters, and 2 are booze hounds. Look for the gray teeth. The trick is the gray teeth. Having said that too, if she has a wine glass in the shower and it's not plastic, run. Because you can't see glass in the water, and the last thing you want to do is cut an artery in your foot and die. Imagine that. He died as he lived at some girl's apartment trying to sneak out before she woke up. That's the worst part too. Like, you see, you know, incels bitch, and there's like sad MGTOW apartments and that where everybody bitches about, oh my god, it's a horrible apartment. All he has is booze and weed and Xbox, and you just watch this girl, pretty girl. Nothing wrong with, I mean, on the surface, nothing wrong with her. Meanwhile, you see like liquor break in case of emergency, wine glasses strategically placed so that you never have to reach further than like this to get your drink on, and like pill bottles everywhere, and a vibrator charging by the fireplace because when you get home from work, you can only make it about 4 feet until the itch needs to get scratched. And the only thing she's missing is like the new Call of Duty Warzone in the back there, and she would be the perfect MGTOW for 2069, I would say. The dog though, man, I bet you she lets the dog kiss her on the lips. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, there's this thing called the dog pill. Don't ask, don't look it up. It's damn creepy. But yeah, I may be surprised, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah. Okay, I told you before, remember that about the 40s and the 20s and this? I said, I'll come back to this. I'm coming back to it. Here. Hum your favorite tune. When you gotta scratch the itch, you gotta scratch the itch. Hey, Billy, when you go to school today, why don't you meet some new friends and bring them home? Go play around with the volleyball team. Go play with the soccer team. See what happens. I don't know what it is. I don't know how big a deal it is right now, but it seems like And everybody loves those. You know those there's always like every couple days there's somebody posting about a teacher that got arrested for diddling like 16-year-olds, and they're like let off on bail because, you know, he had it coming. Look what he was dressed like. Which is weird because it's kind of the way like feminists talk about men in the 1940s, what they were like. She just smacked around these boys and then slept with them and blamed them for it. Yeah, whatever. But wait, you know what? If a third of guys under 30 aren't getting laid, and every divorced girl over 40 is miserable and drunk and on drugs, why don't we just start hooking them up? It'll be, what's that Jordan Peterson thing about enforced socialist monogamy or whatever? Everybody wins. Here, your kid can play Xbox with this guy, and then you can play, I don't know, Eggbox with this guy, and the hot 40-year-old husband that you ditched because he wasn't good enough can sleep with the guy's girlfriend. Like, everybody's happy, as opposed to now where everybody's miserable. And of course, only reason I know they're miserable is because they put like rap beats to it and put it up on TikTok. So hey, thank you for not letting me know about your quiet misery. And this, oh, okay, I have one more. Well, there's three more, but the reason I have this one is just because it's all fucked up. I'm like, whatever. I always like throwing one in here just to mess with you. I'm gonna let this float for a minute. Now, if you're in the chat going, who's Riley Reid? I'm here to tell you, you're a fucking liar. You know exactly who that is. Don't play with your stupid no-fap masculine gumroad course. You know who she is. You know. There. I don't know if that's true. As much as I want to trust the word of an OnlyFans model, I'm just like, did you know, out in Miami, which is like the OnlyFans girl capital of the North America right now, there's girls that go on to podcasts to talk about holding women accountable, have stupid views, and get kicked off, and they don't even want to be there. They're just doing it as an advertisement for their OnlyFans page. And then you're meant to think it's like an episode of Jerry Springer meets Miami Vice. Can you believe that? Can you believe that OnlyFans models would lie to you about their accountability just so you'll get them to sign up and have them jerk off to pictures of your feet? I didn't know it was possible. But yes, ever since I got hooked up, girls have started lying. All right, so second to last one. This is actually some good actionable stuff here. Some actionable stuff here. The dog's moving the lights around, creeping us out in the background with the shadows, eh? Here. That chick's happy. You know why? Didn't I tell you guys before about the 5 stages? The shit test them, make them vulnerable, put them to work, self-determination, and then, you know, I don't need no man. And you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, but you were always showing me the last 2 stages. Here's the second age, or the first and the second stage. I'm not even sure which yet. It depends what she's coming at. But these are what they call, and I think you might have heard this term before, it's called a shit test. What the hell is a shit test? It's because she's turned on by the guy, and so she acts like a giant brat just to see if he won't put up with her shit. Because if he does, then he must be a bitch, and I don't want to have no bitch babies. That's it. Yeah, she's probably 29. She probably found a guy, made her tingle, and now that he's done that, she made him cry, and she's like, hey, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. And now she's like, give me that I want to be a dad energy. And she's going to get totally hot for that, which is weird because 5 years ago, it's like whoever had Coke was the one that turned her on. Now it's the guy who washes dishes with the good dad bod. What can I tell you, man? Everybody's like, girls make no sense. No, they do. They just change over time. They change over time, and they do it somewhat predictably. If you're really good at dealing with those type of girls with your dad bod energy, start dating 28-year-olds. If you're really good at that Cancun foam party energy, start with the 22-year-olds. If you're really good at that bitter chick who's tired of sleeping with 20-year-old dudes playing Xbox, then go after that 40-year-old divorced energy. Either way, there's always a market out there for you. And then I will bring up, so the last one Here, I've given you guys a lot of wham and ain't shit. I've given you a lot of, oh, these hoes ain't loyal, and oh, sympathy, no sympathy. I don't know what to think. I'm going to give you something actionable. Here is something. Remember the title of this one? What do you bring to the table? And you're sitting there, you know, with your avatar, MGTOW 42069 going, bitch, I am the table. And then you like, you know, hit the smiley face at LOL at the L at the end because the LOL is replaced period. And then you walk away going, I taught that bitch a lesson. Here, this is what you bring to the table. I feel this in my bones so much. Every time I'm in the wheel with my girl. If I brake, I'm braking too late. If I accelerate, I'm accelerating too fast. If I'm passing somebody, we're too close. If I'm pulling into the garage, I'm going to hit something. They are neurotic, panicky, control freak women, and bless them for it. I'm sure there's an Evo Psych reason they need to pump the brakes like that. All you got to know, what do you bring to the table? And I'm ending off with the most wholesome, positive thing I know. You're calm, you're confident, you know what you're doing, and when she starts spiraling, you're just going to give her a big hug and a kiss on the forehead and tell her, shut the fuck up, I got this. So here, enjoy yourselves, guys. Again, don't take these too seriously. Don't go harassing the TikTok people. Let them have some fun. We're sitting here having some good, wholesome fun at other people's expense, and that's what they want, because any attention is good attention. I will catch you on the next one of these, though. Cheers. All right. I'm gonna read out some super chats for you guys now, because you've been sitting there and you've been holding them very patiently, and I want to thank you for it. So first off, Dogmatic, the $5 super chat. Tuition. Oh, I hope, dude. Do not. Like, yes, there's some stuff in here that's maybe learnable. Fine. Take it, learn it, live it, love it, whatever. Leave it. Do not take this as like a Jordan Peterson C-SPAN thing. This is lighthearted. It's fun. Don't take it too seriously. It's more accurate than half the fucking alpha male shit out there. But yeah. Wando with the €2 super chat. These birds need the God pill. I know a couple in real life. Oh, I don't know to this extent, and I know a lot of them are playing it up for the camera, but yeah, it's crazy to see the people that I remember going to the bars with and them getting older now and how the differences have happened. Meh. But again, it's one of those things where everybody's like, I don't know how to make her happy. I'm scared. I don't want her to get angry. A real man would do this. It's like, look who you're dealing with, man. Do you remember the whole, what's the thing there? Women are the most responsible teenager in the house. And the whole point's not to say women are invalids or anything like that. The whole point is to say, like, why are you taking them so seriously? Like, imagine driving to the supermarket to buy eggs or a bag of, or they got like a container of raspberries. And you look over and your woman's holding up to the roof of the car, pumping the fake brakes. It's like, what the hell is she doing? It's like, relax. Douglas Collins, thank you, sir. The $20 super chat. I'm going to hit you up and let's get it on a consultation. I've got good news and bad news for you, sir. The bad news, I'll start with the bad news because why not? The bad news is I do not do consults anymore. I used to. It got paid really well. It does awesome. Damn depressing, and it's just not worth it. But the good news is you can save a lot of money. Just come check out the Patreon. Come in there for a month. You post your own field reports in. It's discreet. Got a lot of guys swapping notes. And it's more than just me talking to you. You've got like hundreds of guys. And all of these guys have been through everything. They've been through divorce. They've been through business startings, breakups, you know, baby daddy, cheating, Chad stuff. There's some guys that are so much of a Chad that they actually don't know how to keep a girl around. And like, that's the issue, is settling down. So like, it doesn't matter what your problem is. There's at least 100 guys in there who have the same problem. And so for like a tenth of the price you would get for anybody's consulting rates, you can just sit there and hear guys tell you honest stuff about their life. And again, it's discreet. We don't share notes. And if you're not sure you like it, what's the day of the month right now? The 21st when this is recorded. Go check it out. You got a full week until you have to shell out any cash for it. And then if you don't like it, you don't like it. No harm, no foul. But if you do like it and you end up staying, you'll love it. Then Hots and Clogs, $2 super chat. Money for the cat, $1. Oh, did you guys finally see the cat? Did she pop her way out? Because I don't know if you noticed this. You see in the back, this shadow here, it's the dog and him and the cat finally playing with each other. And to show off dominance, he paws at things and he's pawing at the LED light and it's driving him nuts. So yeah. And then Alan, my favorite Ryan quote so far is, "My love language is daddy issues." All right. And then Jimmy. Okay, we got to end it. We've been the full hour. It's as much time as I wanted to do. I'm going to end on this. What's your skincare routine? No homo, nice face. Thank you very much, sir. All right. I'm about to give you, here's some actionable advice that they won't tell you at Alpha Male Lamborghini School. The trick to healthy skin is drink water, have some healthy oils in your diet, and exfoliate. As far as the soaps you use, don't worry about getting fancy. In fact, what you want to do is the closest you can find to like medical grade soap. You don't want any scent to it whatsoever. You want it to be somewhat gentle. You don't want like bars of Dove or whatever the hell, but you don't need some super scented $50 cream. Like, it turns out they did some studies on this stuff where they were finding the formulations, and the quality level of soaps in that peak at about $20. So whatever you're buying, make it cost $20. The less scent on it, the better. Buy yourself one of them Axe loofahs, or just a loofah. Just something that exfoliates a little bit. Doesn't matter what. Just something that's got a little bit of scruffing to it. Don't worry about the little micro beads and that. I don't like killing fishes. And then once a week, wash your face, scrub it. Scrub it really good. Scrub it. So, you know, if you scratch yourself enough, it starts to hurt. That's too much. Less than that, but more than nothing. And then it gets off all the old dead bloods or dead cells, keeps the new ones on there, keeps your skin nice. And then, here's the best part, get a plain Jane moisturizer. Nothing fancy. I have like some Costco brand stuff. It literally has no scent to it whatsoever. Light coating on your skin. Make sure it's oil-based, because partially it keeps moisture from leaving your skin, especially if you're in cold places like in the winter. And it keeps stuff from getting attached in there. But you don't want to put it on too thick, so then you get dirt and shit hanging in there. And that's all you got to do. I managed to get through 10 years sailing in saltwater conditions with horrible sun in like the desert. I got through farm life. I got through everything. And you can still have skin this good. So yeah, do what you got to do. Look at this. Tons of recommendations in the chat too. All right. Aw. I don't want to let you go, but I got to let you go. Seeing you guys, like, some of these things I forgot I even mentioned. Like, what's this one from E. Jones? Men love value, women value, or no, men value love, women love value. But it's good to see you guys have been paying attention. What can I say? It's the least, we have the least soft R artistic audience in the entire manosphere, and I'm so proud of you guys. I love it. This group fucks. On that note, I'm going to leave you to it, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Have some fun. I'm going to do up some videos. We got some mids watches coming on later. I'll catch you. Cheers. Oh, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, you know, because you obviously knew that for. Like the thing, because it's good content. And I'll see you later. Cheers.